What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I decided to do something a little bit different than I've ever done on my channel before, and I decided that I was going to sit down and answer a question that when I first started YouTube and first started my beauty accounts on other social media platforms, I could never find the answer to. So today I want to film that, and that question is, how do I get on PR lists? Being on PR list is extremely helpful when you're doing things on social media. It just makes it much easier for you to figure out what you're going to film, and it also really helps the bank account because you're not buying those products. It's really a win-win situation because these brands are circulating their products more and you're getting a bunch of product to talk about and then to keep and use in the future. Before we get started though, I do want to put a disclaimer that this list is not an end-all be-all, and this doesn't mean that if you do every single one of these then bam, it's gonna happen for you. It does involve a lot of hard work, and even though these are things I highly recommend doing, I'm just stating that those are things that worked for me. They may not be things that work for you, but I do feel like these are really great tips to help get you started. So if you'd like to see my top 10 tips on how to get on a PR list, then just keep on watching. So the number one thing I can say when you want to start getting on a PR list is A, make the decision that that's something that you want to do and that's something that you want to commit to. But B, it is so important to create a completely separate social media account from your personal account to your beauty account. I feel like when brands are looking at who they want to send their products to, they want to make sure they're sending it to somebody who's serious about the beauty community and who is somewhat professional in that sense of social media. It's extremely hard to see this beautiful makeup post and then go to your Instagram and then see like 5 pictures of your dog and then a picture of you and your friends going out clubbing, I don't know, a picture of your latte, and then a few photos down there's another picture of makeup. To me, it doesn't scream this is what I'm wanting to do. Just make it clear what you want to make your social media account be about and stick with it. Number 2 would be to create good content and also possibly invest in a good camera. With the new iPhones coming out with really great cameras, I do feel like they are starting to step up to be just as good as some ones that you can buy for about the same price, because iPhones now are actually pretty close to the same price that I bought my camera for. So if you're using the back camera on it, then of course you're gonna get good pictures, but of course if you're taking like a selfie photo, it's not gonna be quite as clear. So I feel like if you're going to use something, stick with that device and make sure it's the best quality that you can possibly give. Number 3 is so important, and I see so many people make this mistake, especially when they are beauty accounts on Instagram and Twitter and all that, is tag the brands that you're being on PR list is extremely helpful when you're doing things on social media. Being on PR list is extremely helpful when you're doing things on social media using. Brands are never going to see your posts if you don't tag them. Tagging them in the photo, but then also using the special hashtags that the brands use in your description are going to be your best bet to get them to see you. If you don't tag the brands, they're just not going to see you. And that is sort of what your goal is. So if you're not tagging them, you're kind of just sitting still and you're not moving forward with your goal. Along with the hashtags is my tip number 4, which is don't spam your hashtags. A big mistake people make is they think that if they put 30+ hashtags in their description that they're going to get seen often, but that's not the case. I've actually been specifically told from brands that if you're going to be posting about them, to only use their specific hashtags. So hashtag Benefit Cosmetics, hashtag Urban Decay, whatever. I just stick to hashtagging the brand name and that's it. It is extremely annoying, and also it looks really desperate to post multiple tags on your photos. So saying like hashtag beauty, hashtag makeup of the day, hashtag MOTD, hashtag makeup artist, hashtag it gets repetitive, and like, we get it, you do makeup and that's why you're tagging these brands, so you don't need to do it. And that is a mistake that I made in the beginning, and I've definitely been trying to get better at these days. But I feel like a lot of people think that more is better, but actually I just think that it's the quality of your hashtags versus the quantity. Tip number 5 is something that I did a lot, I feel like about a year ago and back, and it was don't focus on only one or a few brands. When you only focus really hard to get one brand to see you, chances are other brands are not going to be able to see you because you're not making posts using their products and tagging them, so they're never going to see you. So not only are you wasting so much time focusing on just one brand, you really need to step out and just try everything and be that beauty guru or influencer that you really want to be, and use everything. Try so many different brands. I can't tell you how many brands I even discovered that reached out to me after posting a bunch of different brands, and I never would have tried them. But had I not stepped out of, let's say I was really trying to get Anastasia Beverly Hills to see me, if I hadn't stepped out of that bubble, I probably wouldn't have gotten like Benefit to contact me, or Urban Decay, or Loving Tan, any of those things. It really does, you really need to expand the brands that you're using, because if you only focus on one, you're not going to get there as quickly. Definitely though, on a side note to that, this is not tip number 6, but this is a side note to that last one, is only use brands that you really believe in too. Don't just go after brands because you want free product. It's extremely important to be genuine and use the brands that you love. Tip number 7 is to not overpost. I see so many influencers who say you need to be posting like 3 times a day and you need to be making videos like 3 times a week. I don't always believe that that's the case. I feel like when you're posting quality pictures, you don't have to post multiple times a day, let alone every day. I do feel like as long as you're giving out your most genuine content and the best content that you feel that you can make, then I feel like you really truly are giving it your best. People are gonna see that. People are also gonna get really annoyed of your content if you're posting like multiple times a day. It just gets annoying. And personally, that's what causes me to unfollow people. So if I'm doing the same thing, I kind of have to believe that other people are gonna get annoyed with me if I'm doing that as well. My tip number 8 is actually something that I tested last year, and I had pretty good feedback when it comes to this, and it actually is to reach out to brands that you're interested in. Now, when I say that, you do have to be kind of careful about which brands you reach out to, because if a brand has like millions and millions of followers and you only have maybe like 20,000 or less, I do feel like they're gonna be like, we have other people who are going to help us. You have to remember that when a brand sends you stuff, they're doing it because they feel like it is a good investment for them. So be careful who you ask. And when you do reach out to brands, make sure that you have kind of almost like a written sort of essay of why I'm a good fit for your brand. For example, last year I reached out to a hair extension company and I said, hey, I realized that most of your posts for your hair extensions are girls who already have hair like that's long. I have short hair. What if I made a video for you, and it basically, using your extensions, shows how to blend short hair into the extensions, because I feel like a lot of people with short hair feel like they can't get extensions because it doesn't work that well. And they were totally for it. I had to really sell myself, but it works. And once you start getting into this industry and kind of getting a good feel of things, you'll feel confident enough to ask the brands that you feel are a good fit for you. Another way that you can get on PR lists is to actually participate in different brand contests. And what I mean by that is, I'm pretty sure that I got on Benefit Club Pink because I noticed that they were having the contest to be a part of it. And so of course I was like, I really want to be a part of this. So I applied and I was one of the lucky few who got in it. and it was really simple just as that. I know NYX has the Face Awards. I feel like the more you participate in the things that they're doing, the more they're going to see you and see what you can do with your content, and they're going to want you. Tip number 9 is to use Octoly. That is actually one of the very first things that I started getting sent products from. Octoly is an app that is a free store, and you can apply to be sent anything that's on there. You can get rejected or not, and if you get accepted for a product, you have 21 days to make a review about it, and then you get to keep the product. I believe when I started Octoly, you had to have 10,000 followers on Instagram, but I think now they've lowered it to 5,000, so it's much easier to get there. But Octoly is a great way to get brands to notice you, because now you're getting sent free product, and the more and more that you use the Octoly store, and maybe you're very specific about what brands you use, I know that I am, you can actually get on a PR list, because they'll start noticing you posting about them more, and then they'll be like, oh wow, I never knew you were on social media, I love your work. Now they send me stuff all the time, and I feel like that's a really easy way to get the momentum going with PR lists. My number 10 tip is the most important, and that is to be responsible. When you start getting on more and more lists, and you start getting more followers, and you start getting more attention, more and more makeup is going to come. And I know that I've been at a point where I was like, wow, I'm really overwhelmed, and I admit that I haven't been the most responsible all the time, but I try to be, and it is my goal to be responsible. But when I say be responsible, I mean if a brand sends you a product, I feel it is my duty to make some kind of content about that. They're spending their time having somebody email you and then ship out the product, and they're using some of, you know, a cost of what that product is. I feel like it's my duty to at least make an Instagram post or an Instagram story, or insert it in a YouTube video, something, so that I feel like their time wasn't wasted, because they don't have to send you anything. And I feel like it is extremely responsible to hit deadlines, and if you're going to be paid for a post, you need to make sure that gets out there as soon as possible. And I just feel like that is that's the biggest tip I could give you. It is so easy to get caught up in the fun of receiving products, but if you're not being responsible, chances are if a brand sends you one product once and you weren't that quick to get it out, they're more than likely not going to send you anymore, and they're more than likely not going to put you on their PR list. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully it helped answer some of your questions. I feel like these are all things that I've learned in the past like 4 years that I've been trying to do this. I'm still a small beauty influencer. I have like less than 10,000 subscribers on YouTube right now, and I have like 20,000 Instagram followers, so I'm still a very small beauty influencer in the whole scheme of things. But I do feel like that if I can get on like Urban Decay's PR list with these numbers, or Benefit, or Loving Tan, any of this, if I can do it, you can do it as well. It just takes a lot of hard work, and it is so worth it in the end, and it honestly is a lot of fun. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.